Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the weapons of H3VR. Today we're taking a look at this Czechoslovakian, at the time, weapon. And this is the VZ58. Official designation was something submachine gun. This replaced the VZ52 and some Czech submachine guns. And this is the Czech response to the Soviet Union saying everyone in the Warsaw Pact should all transition to a weapon or assault rifle chambered in 7.62 by 39. Czechs, of course, the Czechoslovakians having their own weapons industry, they made the VZ58 in response. And looking at this, first thoughts, it's an AK. It looks like an AK. It has the distinctive shape of an AK. Hell, let's bring an AKM to the picture. Like, it looks awfully similar, doesn't it? Well, it might look similar, but it's not similar at all. So first of all, not even the magazine is compatible. The only thing these two have in common is they're gas operated and they're in 7.62 NATO. Except this one is long stroke piston, if I remember correctly, and this is a short stroke piston. This one, and it has very similar sides, as you can see. The typical unit sight with a front sight. It's got a 30 round magazine, not compatible with the AK. You can't fit the AK mags in this. It's full auto, semi-auto, and it looks like an AK. There is a variant, which we don't have here, which has a side rail mount like the AK, but as you can see, this one doesn't. No side rail mount. This rifle developed as a response to, of course, the Russian Soviets call for 7.62 by 39. The Czechs ended up adopting it in 58, and in the 90s somewhere they wanted to replace it with a 5.56 ammo or 5.56 rifle, but that didn't happen, and I think it's happening now. It was designed by some Czech dudes, being Czech, of course. I'm not going to try to pronounce their names. I can't even remember their names. They're Czech. Czechoslovakian. It's important to note they're Czechoslovakian. This rifle, or official designation, submachine gun. I'll get to the submachine gun a bit later. It has the whole top goes back, so a bit like the G43 or early semi-automatic rifles, where the whole thing is exposed. Like here, you only have this little area, but here it's the whole top. It does also have stripper clip guides, as you can see if you if you look closely. So you can fit this with stripper clips, of course, but why would you? It's closed bolt. You don't have this massive dust cover. It doesn't have any kind of dust cover, except for this being closed. So semi-auto and full auto. So unlike the Russians, which were full auto, semi-auto, this one goes semi-auto, full auto. So more like US. So why did they call this SMG? Well, in Russian doctrine or Soviet doctrine, I believe I went over this with the AK as well. These were not seen as shorter range rifles with higher fire rate. These were seen as longer range submachine guns. That's really it short. The bolt handle reciprocates. So obviously, the whole thing just reciprocates. Unlike the AK, this one does also lock open on empty. Of course, you partially have to do that to allow for stripper feeding, but still, it is a good improvement over the AK. However, of course, that does hurt a lot in terms of being able to withstand dust, because this whole thing is open in terms of being able to stand dust. The AK is way superior. But in a clean environment, hold open is really useful. And I believe that's part of the reasons why the magazines aren't compatible, because the magazines need a hold open device, obviously. So if we're here in something something, I can't remember what this scene is called. Let's empty this. House breach or something like that. How am I forgetting the name of this scene? But either way, we're going to do a run through this with this lovely rifle. Let's do. Helps if I change the rifle. Put it in safe or semi-auto. Did he just get saved by a waze? Bastard. That's the first floor, I believe, covered. There. Oh, it's empty. Wanted to switch to full auto. There we go. There we go. I'm making a total mess of this, but that's not the fault of the rifle. This rifle is a lovely rifle, VZ58. It's in this game, if you ask me, this is just a better AK, since in the game, in terms of functionality, there isn't much difference, except this one has locks open on empty. In real life, if I were to give it a choice, I would probably take this one, simply due to the dust being better to withstand dust, but this is a good rifle. You can't do the AK tactical reload though, since as you can see the paddle is covered by the trigger guard, unlike with the AK where it's below. Which, I mean, makes it harder to accidentally do like something like hit a corner so that it releases the magazine. Which is, I think, also generally an improvement over the AK. So in terms of hotdogs, horseshoes and hand grenades, it's a superior rifle. But in real life, they both have their advantages. Either way, it's still a nice rifle, and it's not an AK despite looking almost exactly like one. So, I think you all enjoyed, I hope you all enjoyed actually, this episode on the VZ58. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe and all that, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!